Until President Trump's comments criticizing NATO and the British Prime Minister took over the news headlines, the president's big issue was the tariffs he's imposed on other countries and the counter tariffs the other countries have imposed. So it occurs to me, you might be wondering, what does all this tariff talk mean to us? And that's why Matthew Peck is here. He's here to try to answer that. Co-founder of SHP Financial with an office in North Dartmouth. As recently as a day or two this week, more talk about the tariffs with China and all of that. It gets pretty complicated.
It really is. And also when they throw around numbers like 200 billion and 30 billion and things along those lines, as normal human beings, we see that as a very large number. Well, our economy is trillions of dollars. So at the same time, it sounds like a lot. Right now, at this point, it's still minor. It's a lot more rhetoric. But the big concern is, will it escalate and how bad will it become?
Yeah, and as I said at the beginning of our little gathering here, we're not going to talk politics and we're not going to talk this side versus that side. Let's bring it down to the bottom line, us. What kind of effect will the tariffs have on us as consumers?
Well, think of it this way. What a tariff is a tax on imports. So, Frank, let's say, for example, that mug.
Yes.
Now, if you if you were buying that mug from China, and the president elects to put a tariff on that mug, well, now that's a tax on an import. So that mug to you is now more expensive. Now, the theory is, okay, well, now let's see if there's a mug maker in Cranston or in Woonsocket or in Swansea or whatever that may be, and now that you'd buy it there and you'd buy it more domestic. Well, unfortunately, the negative is that for you, that mug is now more expensive. Because even if you're buying it from China with a tariff or you're buying it from Swansea, well, it's higher cost to you, and that's what it means to you and to the viewers.
I'm finishing the cup so I can look underneath.
Thailand. I was able to see it from our side.
I'm spilling on my Joe. Anyway, what are you going to do? However, in my defense, the cup may have been made in Thailand, but the customization of the name was made at a kiosk at the Warwick Mall.
All right.
All right. So anyway, will this have an effect on us in terms of the prices we have to pay?
Right now, it's absolutely, it's possible. And so, and for example, the other part too, as I mentioned about, is the escalation. For example, right now, when we implement tariffs on other countries, they can implement tariffs on us. So not only could it affect things that we buy, but also it could affect the things that we make. So now suddenly jobs could be potentially at risk if in fact it does escalate. So costs could go up and jobs could be lost. Now this is a very doom and gloom scenario, but these are the types of things that bear watching.
All right, final question, because Matt Peck's your name, investments and financial planning is your game. How should we maybe change the mix in our 401ks or the stuff where somebody's
I was just about
that?
to bring that up. Philip said the tariffs are, quote unquote, going to kill his stock. So how does that information all of a sudden play into your portfolio?
First of all, is it true it's going to kill his stock?
It depends on the type of stocks that he has. I mean, we sometimes often talk about diversification. I mean, think of it as a baseball team. You need to have your catcher, your pitcher, your first baseman, etc. And same idea, when you construct a portfolio or your 401ks, you need to make sure you have large cap, small cap, mid cap, international, so forth and so on. So right now when the tariffs were implemented, international took a very big hit. But small and mid cap, which are more domestic based companies, did very well. And so as long as you have sort of both positions on your team, you still stand to gain. It's when individuals only have, are overweighted in one or two positions, that's when they can take a big bite.
So you're saying it's worth checking but not worth panic selling or buying or shifting around?
It's just making sure you have a well-diversified portfolio. We make sure that all of our clients, when they come into our doors, we make sure to say, hey, let's build out that baseball team and let's make sure you have all the players on the team.
So it's not all the eggs in one basket type of scenario, so when this does occur, it's going to be a pretty impactful jump.
Correct, because if you do have those stocks in that one area, it could be bad.
Absolutely.
Matt Peck from SHP Financial, thank you for joining us.
Thank you, Frank.